Since day one, being a brand that was built off of credit cards and life savings and that's it, everyone around us was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, are you sure you thought this through? Like, no, we haven't thought this through. Saturdays in general incorporated all these different ideas and elements of kind of community and culture in New York and surfing and coffee and just like style and fashion and all this different stuff. And we like, what should we call it? And the first thing out of Colin's mouth was Saturdays. And we were like, sick, done. My two friends who we started Saturdays with, we were all friends in New York City working in fashion and all just surfed, skated, snowboarded and lived in New York and kind of spent a lot of time together. And before we even came up with the concept and really went to start the brand, you know, surfing was used as this prop in all these different fashion brands. Like you cruise down Broadway and you go by Chanel or J. Crew or Gap or whatever, and when summer would come around, they'd throw surfboards up in the windows and that was their summer merchandising display. And working in fashion for a while and then wanting to incorporate my childhood and my upbringing in Newport Beach, it is who we are and it's ingrained in our DNA, and we wanted to create a brand that like incorporated all of that. At that time in 2009, coffee culture was not what it is today. There was only a few places that were making really good coffee, and we kind of knew that coffee was starting to be treated like wine, you know? Like if you made really good coffee, people were always going to come back. And then since the space had this beautiful backyard, we kind of envisioned creating this kind of sense of community, which kind of existed in the surf shop I worked in when I was a Grom. And whether you surfed or didn't, whether you like fashion or don't, whether you just want coffee or you just want to like sit in the backyard under a bunch of trees and just chill in the middle of New York City, you know, it's like we started a brand that was just open arms to everyone. Saturdays. This fridge has been here for like a week. I think it's from these guys, but shit, it's New York City. Scaffolding. It's always fun. So when we first opened, we only had upstairs and nothing, like nowhere else. So we put all like the inventory in the shed and like at my apartment and stuff like that. And then we took over the basement. This is our like first desk. So this is like where we used to like do all of our work and like get the store organized and inventory and like accounting and like all that kind of stuff. And then like there was a wall here, so we just had this back part, and then we took over the whole basement, and now it's a little disheveled, but like this is where we hold all the inventory and stock for the store. And so this was ground zero for a long time. I'm now like seeing things I need to like remind my team to like fix and change. I mean, the early days I think were the best days because we were all so hungry and not driven by money because we didn't have any. We did whatever we had to do. I DJ'd 4 to 5 nights a week and else had side design gigs or was bartending, and that lasted for over 3 years. My apartment became our warehouse. I'd even like be working with a customer and we wouldn't have a size 32, so I'd be like, give me 1 second, skateboard to my apartment, grab a 32, skateboard back, and the customer would still be there and I sell it to them. I think the really cool part about those early days is like every part of our lives was involved in the brand as well. When we produced our first collection and we're getting ready to ship it to this department store, it was the night of the deadline and I was DJing at my friend's restaurant and bar. So my set ended at 2 and I was like, hey, can I use your PC computer in the back? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like routing our first shipment that needed to go to this department store, and it was 2 a.m. and then 3 a.m. and then just press send, and then it was like, cool. And then joined everyone and was like, got that one done, and the next day like was able to like ship it out, and all sorts of crazy shit that we would, you know, do anything and everything to make it work. Personally, my goals moving forward are creating a beautiful life for my daughter. I have a 10-and-a-half-month-old daughter, and she's amazing, and totally changed my life, and so stoked. It's insane. I hate being away from her. Working 10+ hours a day and living in New York, it's amazing and a blessing in its own right, but at the same time, like when I finally get to be in the ocean and surf, and the thought of doing that with my daughter, like my favorite thing in the world is when I go home to California, my brother, sister, we go surf, and then like an hour later my dad will like paddle out. Even if we forget to call him, he'll find out where we are and he'll just paddle out, and like then like the whole family's together, and that's like those are the moments that I think are the most important.